Well, start off, good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone is all okay and you managed to get here okay. And I've just heard that there was disaster on trains, but we made it. So as mentioned by Eric, my name is Chipo Madzikwah, and I'm a graduate track engineer. And I've just recently started my placement with the Rail System Alliance Scotland. So I'm actually quite new to this, hence my presentation, which is Rails and Renewals, a young engineer's understanding of track renewals. Next one. That doesn't work. Try the next one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. This approach that I'm going to take to this presentation is probably an easier way for everyone to be reminded why we are all here. Track renewals plays a crucial role for rail industry to maintain a safe, efficient, and reliable railway, as we know. So what consists of railway track? I'm actually talking about things that we all see on a day-to-day basis, which we're talking about rail sleepers, switches and crossings, which are the movable sections of track that guide trains from one track to another and allow them to pass and cross path as well. And also a set of points, which are very important because these are mechanical systems that move switches and crossings to the track, ensuring safety and efficiency in the rail operations. So why is it important for someone like me as a track young engineer to understand track renewals? For me, personally, grasping the details of knowing how track is actually renewed and maintained is one of the key things that I really wanted to find out when I chose my discipline as a track engineer. And this actually laid the foundation for me to understand what really goes on, because you won't be able to see this if you are someone who's on the outside. So this was an opportunity for me, being on the graduate scheme, to actually learn through this and be able to develop myself as we go. So the importance of track renewals, that's the one thing, isn't it? So according to the Rail Delivery Group, the delays caused by infrastructure faults caused the UK Rail, a high number, this £1 billion, and this is actually in 2019 alone, which I'm presuming is already increased as we are dealing with inflation, as everyone has said. But the highlights the importance of keeping tracks in good condition. That's how we can avoid having things like infrastructure costs happening in our railway. For safety and reliability, the track renewals are pivotal for ensuring that passengers and crew are actually in safe manners, and the transportations of goods is done properly as well. It's also important as well to make sure that when we are dealing with our patch of track, we understand how it's implementing different options to be able to progress and make sure that everything that we are doing is actually working correctly, so that we keep our passengers safe at the end of the day. So by conducting timely track renewals, we mitigate the risk of derailments and accidents, ensuring the safety of passengers and reliability of our freight transportation. So when we talk about the economical impact, we know that if we have our track neglected, this leads to frequent breakdowns and service interruptions and higher maintenance costs, which we will have to try and avoid, affecting both operational efficiency and customer satisfaction. As we know, as Network Rail, our customers, they are our key goal, so we always need to make sure that they are comfortable whenever they're traveling in any service, and it all starts with having a very well-laid track. So it's important to make sure that when we're doing our job, we do it great. So probably most of you are quite familiar with the machine over there as well. So on here we have the type of track renewals. So to my understanding, we have the full and partial renewals. So while the full track replacements involve renewing the entire track section, partial renewals focus on specific components such as rails and sleepers, tailored to address immediate maintenance needs. So what type of decision factors do we have to consider in this? We need to also make sure that we know that the full and partial renewals are important for an engineer to be able to determine which one they're going to have to do. So sometimes, obviously with funding, we have to make sure that we put a mitigation in place for us to know what we need to do at that certain point. The type of track renewals are carried out as part of a comprehensive maintenance and renewal program aimed at ensuring reliability and safety and longevity of the rail infrastructure. And it's also thereby contributing to a smooth operation of train services. So as a young engineer myself, it's important to get exposed to different teams who will be working on track, or even considering our partners like the overhead lines, our structures teams, because what happens if I do ignore what my overhead line or structures are doing, it will end up affecting me in the long run. So I always need to make sure that I understand what's happening so that we all work together. So the challenges faced in track renewals and enhancements. So one of the biggest challenges, I think everyone will agree with me, is the limited access to the track. Coordinating replacement of tracks while minimizing disruption to train services and considering environmental impacts presents a logical challenge requiring meticulous planning. So often, work needs to be carried out during off-peak hours, which we know that Christmas is coming, so, or even overnight, which can be both costly and disruptive. So additionally, safety concerns mean that the certain areas of the track need to be closed off completely during work, further limiting access, which we know that it's not an easy thing to do. So in my experience, I just believe still that working collaboratively with other teams who are probably have a possession in place could actually work well, because you could be able to carry out the work that you needed to do when you didn't have that opportunity. So when we talk about innovative and solutions, some innovative approaches to overcome these challenges include utilizing advanced predictive maintenance systems, or employing innovative construction methods like continuous welded rails, help streamline track renewal processes. Talk about best practice. So, as a network rail, our industry standard decision-making tools are helping us make very effective, well, I'll also assume, decisions to better our renewals. By implementing predictive maintenance through sensors and data analysis allows the identification of potential track issues before they escalate, reducing maintenance costs and downtime. Talking about collaboration, I've just heard from other speakers who were speaking that collaboration and communication is very important. So between engineering teams, maintenance teams, and railway operator, it is vital to have effective planning and execution of our track renewal projects. So currently with the team that I'm with, we have made it a priority to work closely with our stakeholders, which are involved in our projects. These are like our clients, our contractors, and our suppliers. By doing so, we can actually ensure that everyone is on the same page, which is really good, because it's easier when you are all talking the same topic rather than someone having another thing to talk about. And everything is all delivered on time and within budget as well. So I feel like this has been a very famous topic about talking about technology. So we all thought alike, so here we are. As we know, technology is playing an important role in track renewals and enhancements, from drones and laser scanning. New technologies are helping to improve the accuracy and efficiency of the projects. One innovative solution that the rail can implement for track renewals is by creating 3D models, actually. It's something probably we're probably not doing, but I think we should. This will actually help design specific parts, which we can be able to test and refine the designs, before we actually manufacture them. This only not saves time, but it also saves money, but also ensures that the final product is of high quality and meets all the necessary specifications. So here we are, gearing up for CP7. Well, as CP7 is our next funding period for Network Rail, we see a significant increase in funding, which we are expecting for rail infrastructure projects. As a team, we are preparing for CP7 by identifying key areas where we can make improvements to our processes and technologies. For example, we are exploring new ways for data analysis to optimize track maintenance schedules and reduce downtime. We are also working closely with our stakeholders in the industry to ensure we are aligned with our priorities and our goals. One interesting project we can work on in anticipation for CP7 is the development of a new track renewal technique that uses advanced materials. Probably as well with our construction methods as well. This technique is potentially significant to reduce cost and improve the reliability of our tracks and the durability as well, which is important so that we can keep up with the demand and the growth of our customers in terms of service that we are providing. So probably just taking you across the border. And these, probably some people will know what these pictures are. So this is Carstairs. With the Carstairs project, this was a major improvement work to the railway junction, and this included platform works and gantry installations, which were happening there. So quite nice. The renewed track signaling and overhead electrification improved punctuality, infrastructure reliability, and line speeds on the West Coast Main Line, and on routes between Glasgow and Edinburgh, and this is via Carstairs. So the layout includes a freight loop, which actually accommodates longer freight trains, and also it's another example that shows that careful planning actually yields great results. So talking about our future, which is an interesting fact because our future is what makes us right now. So as we look into the future for track renewals in the industry, it is actually clear that technology is still going to play a major role. With advances in automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence, we can expect to see more efficient and cost-effective methods for maintaining and upgrading our rail infrastructure in the future. So other factors to consider as well in the future, technological advancements are very important, and as well we need to also think about our climate. Our climate is continuing to change, and especially like in Scotland, we have to deal with a lot of water everywhere we go. So it is a really awful thing, but we have to deal with it and find mitigation processes to put in place. And as well, we have a shifting demographic because a lot of young children, they're now probably not wanting to go on trains. So it's important as well to just make sure that we make it more interesting and be able to give that opportunity for rail users to understand how beneficial it is to be in a certain situation of using the rail rather than just driving your car everywhere you go. We see an increased focus as well on sustainability and resilience, as well as a greater emphasis on meeting the needs of the urban populations. It is an exciting time for the rail industry, and actually I'm so eager to see how it will evolve, because the future ahead is really interesting, and I really want to see how far I can take it and be able to be that voice as well as support in the growth that we are having to experience. So as we know, like obviously I've started in this Rail System Alliance, track renewals. So it is something that I'm actually very interested to implement myself more and more. And one of the actual biggest lessons I've learned working on track renewals is the importance of planning. Without a plan, you're not going anywhere, and it's actually crucial to have a detailed plan in place before starting any projects, as this helps ensure everything runs smoothly, and all stakeholders are actually on the same page as well. This not only just is for planning itself, no, it's actually for everything that you do, because you have to put contingency plans in place and to make sure that everything that you're doing is all correct. So I think for me, this is me done, but I just wanted to give a little bit of knowledge to the audience. So this is to do with having young engineers in your team. It's important as well to make sure that you understand how you could help them. And I feel like in my position, having people to acknowledge what you're doing is good, and also to give people the opportunity to have to ask why you're doing what you're doing will be actually beneficial. Because if you're so used to a process and you're teaching someone that process, you need to understand that. Why are you doing that in the first place? And for me, I would understand it more because you're telling me why you're doing it. That means you, as well as a professional, you can be able to pass that knowledge down. So that's mainly what I would leave everyone with. But thank you very much, everyone. These are my details. If you want to connect and have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.